I'll hold on to that.
Hold up. Is this as valuable as I think it is? Dohalim's fighting style is... what's the word I'm looking for? Subdued? No...
Do you mean elegant, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the word. For better or worse, you can definitely tell he's cut from posh Renin cloth.
And he's not just skilled with the staff either. He can also use astral arts, including healing ones. I can see how he made it to the position of a lord.
You flatter me. But my fighting techniques merely come from a style that aims to conserve energy by minimizing body movement.
Is that why you wait until the last second before you dodge attacks? To avoid unnecessary movements?
No, I do that to sharpen my senses. I find that doing so is an effective means of drawing out my innermost strength.
Oh yeah, I've noticed you look stronger and strike out with your rod more after you dodge attacks. Guess that's why.
Still, it's a risk. Don't you ever worry you'll dodge at the wrong moment?
Then, it'll be just as well.
Huh?
It's nothing. Let us continue.
Yes. Okay, there's a fire.
There's always room for improvement.
Adan Lake.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
Why didn't the Renins take advantage of all of these ruins around here? It seems like a missed opportunity.
Most likely because it would be inefficient for harvesting astral energy. That's what dictates the current positions of each realm's capital.
Plus, Renins are averse to using anything that belongs to the Danins.
Well then, let's keep moving.
Hello, big guy.
Looks like trouble with a capital T. Be careful, he's got this!
Please not a giant monster.
Careful! It has some kind of camouflage!
Oh, it's the same as the...
One's mine!
Coming through! Ha! No! Scarlet Inferno!
It's similar to the boss of the last chapter.
You picked the wrong fight. Come and get it. Here I go. Take this.
I'm only getting one!
Eat this. Nothing gets by me. Demon Fang. Demon Fang.
Healing circle!
I'll tear you apart.
Ready!
You're helping me become a pattern. Use it now.
See what I can do.
Resonate with the earth!
Here,
In a bind?
Elusive deity.
Tornado drive!
Hurricane. I owe you one. Not today. I really Elusive deity.
Resonate with the earth!
That does it!
Destruction. Elusive deity.
First
I'll
aid!
thank you.
Here I go! It's over!
Begin. Swallow this. Elusive deity.
It's time to finish this!
Die! Consuming wildfire!
through one! Resonate with the enemy! Go to left might! This one's all mine! Can you take it? Ignite!
Reload!
Talent power!
Mega ray!
You require a head.
You're mine!
Annihilation!
I'm on a roll now! Can't get out of this!
Annihilation!
Oh, now I'm real mad! Can you take it? Can you take it? Elusive fiend! Tornado blast! It's too much. No, what? Johalim, I'm alright. Feel safe. Eagle fly! Can't move!
Healing circle! Hey, that... Do they not teach you to say thank you, Indiana? Not to a Renin or zone.
That frigate does it!
Nothing gets by me!
Don't mind if I do!
Take this!
My astral power is
He's such a failure.
Here's a healing arc! This
I don't have much left.
Alright! It's just that! Here's the evil! Freeze Lancer!
Come on! You have to hold on! Deny! This one's mine! Flaming meteor! Plenty left! Where are you going? I'm gone! Flaming meteor! Tiger Blade! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolition! Johalim!
All yours, Kisara.
Man, it was actually a large enemy because that was basically the same boss we fought
Does
before.
anyone else think this may be just a bit too tough for us?
There's another one! Never mind, there's bigger enemies in this area. They're really tough.
Am I imagining things? Or are there a lot of big zeugles in this area?
No, I noticed that too. There's plenty of food and water to go around here. For a zeugle, this just might be paradise.
Great, that's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Is there a reason you're looking at me so intently?
Shion's kind of turned into the local fashion critic in our group.
So this is what lords like you wear. Certainly looks the part. I can tell at a glance what high quality everything is.
It's not often Shion's that impressed. You wear a lot of rings too, don't you?
They were a gift, purchased rather cheaply, or so I was told.
What's your definition of cheap, exactly?
I believe it was around 100 to 200,000 gold.
What? If my wolf head cost 10 gold, then that'd mean... Holy crap! They cost 1,000 times more?!
10,000 times more.
If he sold those things off, I bet he could build a damn mansion with them.
At the very least, he'd never go hungry the rest of his life.
You're all beginning to sound alarmingly interested in other things.
Dohalim, your spare bracers were getting dirty, so I polished them up along with the rest of your equipment.
Why, thank you, Kisara. I greatly appreciate that.
Maybe it's just my imagination, but you sure seem to fuss over Dohalim a whole lot, Kisara.
It is a little strange. Almost like you're still in his service.
Really? That's certainly not my intention. Besides, he's not the only one I'm like that with. Hey, Law, I saw your clothes were starting to get holes in them, so I stitched them back up for you.
Oh, wow! Thanks, Kisara.
Point taken. Do you just like looking after people?
I wouldn't go so far as to say I like it, but I get anxious if I don't. I'd always like to help if I can. It comes naturally to me. Back in the day, Miguel and I used to look after the younger kids a lot, so that's probably where it comes from. He taught me everything I know, and I mean everything. How to cook with wild plants, how to sew clothes so they'll last. Without him, we never would have been able to survive.
However, you're not a lord anymore, Dohalim. You need to get used to the idea that people aren't just going to wait on you hand and foot.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I'm ashamed to admit that I felt no qualms about her doing all that for me. As both a Renan and especially as a lord, one becomes too accustomed to those beneath you tending to your every need, both Renans and Danans alike.
Sure, that's how all you Renans are probably raised. But just to be clear, we're not your servants, Dohalim. Got that?
Absolutely. Moments such as this provide me with ample opportunity to confront my unease. It is difficult to tend with my own motivations.
What do you mean?
The truth of the matter is that my espousal of coexistence in Menancia hardly came from an idealistic place. That instinctive unease I feel deep within serves as a reminder for what it is that all of us here fight for.
Don't be so hard on yourself. No one's going to abandon you if you aren't always perfect.
Looking at her now, I think she's more like his mom than his servant.
What's up, Kisara? You look concerned.
Oh, no, it's just... I'm looking at our finances and they seem to have taken a nosedive. I don't remember us making any big purchases, though.
Ah, that may be because I borrowed a small amount to purchase something the other day.
Oh no.
I don't think you can call spending more than half of our money a small amount.
Half? Dohalim, what the hell did you buy?
As it so happens, I came upon a rather special object that I've long been searching for.
Are you talking about that junk? That unique-looking trinket you're holding?
Whoa, is that a...
Indeed. It is a lost artifact from ancient Danan times. Most likely, it was used for some sort of rite or ritual. Ever since we Renans conquered Dana, such objects have been disappearing. I simply want to do my part to help preserve both our people's storied histories.
Well, if it's to preserve Danan history, then I guess we can maybe look the other way. Just this once?
I don't know. Why spend money on something that won't even keep us fed?
More to the point, we all contribute to that money. I don't like the thought of anyone dipping into it without saying anything.
You must understand. Had I let that opportunity pass me by, I'd never have come across this item again.
Dohalim, maybe no one taught you that money doesn't grow on trees.
I may have been a lord, but I realize that much.
It's not enough to simply realize it. You have to internalize the concept too. Even after all this time, you still have no real sense of money. Our funds aren't your personal wallet. We camp outside and eat grass for dinner to try and stretch every last gold we have. You never know when we may need it.
I don't think we're so poor that we have to eat grass or anything.
Shut up, Alpha.
Let's just agree to not spend too much or be too thrifty for our own good.
The Earth Master Core.
Alphen, your blazing sword draws its power from Shion's Fire Master Core, right?
So I'm told.
Then why don't you use yours, Dohalim?
You mean my Earth Master Core, yes?
Yeah, you still carry it around with you, don't you?
I do. Each Master Core contains the astral energy harvested from Danan's slaves over the course of the last 3 centuries. Though only a select few qualified people, namely the lords, can wield them, they nevertheless hold too much power to simply abandon.
If only the lords are supposed to be able to use them, how come Alphen and Shion can use theirs?
That may be because Shion has embedded the Fire Master Core within her body, something which wouldn't have occurred under normal circumstances.
Okay, but why do you still carry yours around?
Just as Danans see Master Cores as symbols of the lives and resources robbed from them, so too do I view mine as a symbol of our lasting sins. The pain and agony wrought upon this world by my predecessors, as well as the injustice enabled by my own inaction, are all housed within my Master Core. It is a testament of all that I have done wrong, It cannot ever be used again, nor fall back into the wrong hands.
Dohalim.
You didn't differentiate between the deaths of Danans and the deaths of Renans.
Danans and Renans both spill blood and languish in agony all the same. I just couldn't bear to hear it any longer. That's all.
Little late for that.
This shall suffice. Please, everyone.
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? You worried about what's going on with Menancia?
What makes you think that?
Well, you were speaking to Kisara earlier, weren't you?
It's rude to listen in on others, you know.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you two were actually talking about, though. I just figured it was Menancia since it was the two of you.
I am but a former lord who has abandoned his post. I'm no longer in a position to lead the realm in any capacity whatsoever. Yet Kisara still seeks out my opinions, knowing full well that is the case. This despite the fact I am no longer her master either.
Couldn't it be precisely because you're not her master anymore? It's natural for friends to want to hear each other's opinions.
I hadn't considered that possibility.
It's funny what you miss sometimes.
Hardly uncommon among artistic types such as myself. When lordships are decided based solely on one's astral energy, it can lead to funny results.
But even so, you still took your job as lord seriously, didn't you?
Certainly. I learned to perform my functions. However, I was less interested in ruling, so much as avoiding life and death decisions. Of course, such a mentality in the end led only to sickening pain and death taking place elsewhere out of sight. I pretended not to see or hear any of it, content to let our supposed peace and equality keep me blind and deaf to reality. I was a fool.
But you're making amends.
I would like to think so. The path ahead is dark, yet I still walk on. I merely pray that I shan't fall down any holes along the way. We'd best get ready for tomorrow. Shall we get moving?
How's that for a kick? I'm getting better, right?
Quite. I'll be relying on your fancy footwork.
Does fancy footwork mean running away like a chicken?
No!
So I still had room to grow.
Mackerel.
Never a dull moment on this journey.
Oh, Tempest! So that's air, okay.
A new melody. Elusive deity. I'll thank you. Not the armor won't save you. Tornado drive. Now I'm in the groove. Got fire.
I've got this. Let a marksman handle it.
Glimmer dragon.
All yours.
Not so fast. Can't get out of this.
Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the prize.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me. Evil, do it! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action. A merry distraction.
There's still more to go.
Eat dirt.
Here,
Blow them away.
This could be useful.
Could be up there. No? Oh, it's a lure. Wait, can I? No. It's an alpha wizard.
Wow, that was a nice move there.
I know, right? Bet you couldn't do it.
So it's a grab here, thrust the left leg, then use the right arm to leverage over.
Stop memorizing my move!
He's gone now. It's there. But how do I... Oh, I see it. Oh, come on. Is there a chest in there? That's gonna suck.